Okay, next bit. I hope you enjoyed that beer, by the way. Very nice. Did my face screw up plenty? I think it did. Right, the mash tun. We're happy. So then we pump the liquid into our copper. Now we've got our wort in here, and if you remember, the wort is basically sugar flavoured coloured water. That's all it is. But we need to add something else now. This is what we need to add. Oh, just noticed. Glasses the wrong way around, better not do that. There we go. Anybody know what these are? A bit closer. These are hops. So hops go into our copper, and then we do boil. If you remember, it's hot water in the mash tun, but we do boil it in here. Now, depending on which beer it is, dictates how long we brew it, we boil it for. Could be an hour, could be half an hour, could be 2 hours, whatever. Again, not going to tell you official secrets of Holden's Brewery. Now, these hops are very significant. These are fuggles, strange word, and we do buy all our produce from Britain, and these come from Herefordshire. Now, hops have got a long history in brewing, and we put hops in partly not just for the flavour, but it also acts as a preservative for the beer. Now, unlike in medieval times, for example, it was part of a woman's role to brew the mead. Now, mead goes off very, very quickly. 24 hours, it's undrinkable. So it was part of a woman's daily chores to brew the mead. And that's why very often you hear of a lot of female brewers called brewsters. I already mentioned one earlier, Julia Hanson. We've also got Ma Pardo's. And we've also got Sarah Hughes up in Sedgley, so we're quite lucky in this area in the Black Country. Now, hops are grown out, obviously, out in the countryside, but you see, years ago, we didn't have combine harvesters. What we used to have was people, children. Now, bear in mind, if you lived here in the Black Country 100 years ago, if you looked out of the window, you'd know the sun was shining up there somewhere. You couldn't see it, because the area was heavily industrialised. In fact, sometimes you peg your washing out on a Monday morning and it was black as coal when you fetched it in afterwards. It was dry as a bone, but filthy dirty just as badly before you washed it. So we got nicknamed the Black Country because everything was a dirty browny black colour. Now, the water wasn't safe to drink in the Black Country, but hey, beer was. Because in the brewing process, a lot of the impurities, industrial toxins, would be removed during the process. But the hops were really important. Because bear in mind, you've got your children here, working alongside you very often in the nail shops and in the chan shops. They'll be working with you. And no such thing as a holiday, you know. Oh, I'll just get to that in 5 minutes. But when the hops were due to be harvested, the kids got an holiday. Well, they thought it was an holiday, actually it really was. Because what it really was slave labour. But to them, they went into the countryside for a week or a fortnight, and they got to have cake, a gob of cake and pop and everything, sleep under the stars, and not just see the sun, but feel it on their skins. So to them, it wasn't a hardship at all, it was an holiday. And very often on my brewery tours, I still get people that remember going hop picking, and that's really nice for me to listen to their stories. Anyway, back to what we're supposed to be doing. We've got our copper, it's full, we're boiling it away, and then when we're happy that that's as much as we need to do, we then have to cool the liquid down. We have to cool the liquid down because we've got to add something else. But before we do that, shall we taste another beer? Okay, our next beer is our most popular, fabulous beer, Golden Glow. Now, don't say you've never heard of it, because I don't believe you. Now, for this one, because I'm sure you've fed up on my scrunched up face, we've got a very nice bloke named Steve. And he's going to pour the beer, but I'm going to watch him to make sure he does it right, and he's going to taste it. Let's see what his face does. Are we ready? Okay, Steve, over to you.
Thank you very much. Tilt the glass, pour it in nice and slowly.
Remember, we don't want a big head.
I've got a big enough head as it is.
Just to let you know, we are 2 metres apart and we're looking away from one another.
How does that look?
Okay.
How does that look?
Fantastic. Do you want to try it?
I certainly do. is delicious.
No screwed up face then, guys.
That is absolutely.
And how do you describe the flavour of that?
Oh, delicious.
Is it a bit hoppy? A little bit more hoppy than the other one?
Hoppy, yeah.
Yeah? I don't think we're going to be able to stop him drinking the rest of it, guys. No. So I'm going to let him finish it. You enjoy yours.
Thank goodness I'm not driving home.
Okay. This is the bottom of the mash tun. And this is all the pipes that move the wort into the copper. As you can see, the pipes are very modern. We do pride ourselves in trying to keep our original pieces of equipment. The mash tun, as I told you earlier, is an original piece. If you follow me over where the pipe work is, you can see it's modern stainless steel. That's because things don't last forever. Our copper, however, is also an original piece. And I remember when I first came 5 years ago to sort out about doing these brewery tours, they asked me if they wanted me to clean it. Oh no, look at it. It's absolutely magnificent. We don't need to be cleaned. It will, however, eventually will wear out. But again, you can see that this is handmade as well. How do I know? Look at the rivets. If you look at them, every single one of those is different. They're not made by a computer, they're not made by a machine, they're made by a man or a woman, because women used to do the riveting as well, doing all of these by hand, so every single one of them is completely different. But again, hopefully, when this one does wear out, which will be for a long time we hope, we'll just have it sleeved in the middle so that we can keep this original glorious piece of machinery. I'll invite you now to have a look in. Because of course we haven't got modern technology, and years ago what used to have to happen is somebody used to have to climb in there. So if I've got any offers, a small person, climb in and give it a good old scrub. Because of course that's the basis of good beer brewing. You keep everything clean, spotless clean. Just to give you some sort of perspective, I'm 5'1½". So if you look at the scope of this copper, got a bit of a challenge for you. How many pints do you think this holds when we brew? One of these will fit into that lovely tank that we saw upstairs. What do you think?